Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you need to develop into a better leader, this podcast is for you. If you want to achieve a greater level of success, this podcast is for you. His mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, said it best: everything rises and falls on leadership. We hope to inspire you today and provide you with an insight that has the potential to positively impact the trajectory of your life. Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast.
Imagine gaining the leadership skills that could redefine your career. Join Coach BZ on the Leadership and Success Podcast, where each episode delivers practical insights from world-class speakers, military leaders, and industry experts. We dive deep into what matters most: building resilient teams, leading through uncertainty, and navigating complexity with clarity and confidence. Every conversation is crafted for aspiring leaders like you who are ready to grow, lead, and make a lasting impact. Don't miss our powerful live sessions and recent highlights. Michelle Hayward on building diverse, high-performing technical teams. Ann Leslie on leading through global complexity and cybersecurity risk. Ron Carpenter AI exploring faith, resilience, and AI-powered leadership. Colonel Michelle G.I. Gardner-Ince on commanding influence from the battlefield to the boardroom. Chris Robinson on shifting from drift to drive in life and leadership. And Coach Enrique Acosta Gonzalez on mentorship, legacy, and heart-centered leadership. Ready to level up your leadership journey? Tune in on Spotify, Apple, Audible Podcasts, YouTube Live, and LinkedIn Live. Join the movement toward leadership excellence. Listen now and start transforming your success. What if your next keynote speaker could bridge the worlds of national defense, Silicon Valley innovation, and global leadership? Meet Bob Fabian, BZ Zinga, award-winning keynote speaker, U.S. Navy Information Warfare Commander, and trusted executive in technology, leadership, and strategy. With over 20 years of proven leadership in the U.S. Department of Defense, the U.S. Navy, higher education, and the high-tech sector, from startups to Fortune 500 companies, BZ delivers keynote experiences that inspire, challenge, and equip leaders for real-world impact. BZ speaks with authority on cybersecurity and national security, strategies to safeguard critical assets in an age of constant threat, artificial intelligence and emerging technology, how to innovate responsibly while staying ahead of disruption, leadership and corporate governance, building resilient, ethical, and high-performance organizations in any environment. Every keynote blends military precision, Silicon Valley agility, and boardroom strategy, delivering practical takeaways that leaders can apply immediately. Audiences leave inspired, informed, and ready to lead with clarity and courage. Whether you're hosting a global conference, corporate summit, or leadership retreat, book BZ to energize your event and empower your audience to lead in a rapidly changing world.
Stress from work, whether it be leadership or whatever's going on, killed their relationships. In fact, ended their relationships. And I think of leaders because of the room we're in and the audience that we talk to. And you've done marriage well, you've coached leaders, you speak to leaders, you've been a pastor. That data is troubling. And so I wanted you to speak to that. How can leaders and professionals who are driven and want to make their mark, how do they preserve their relationships, their marriages, while still dealing with the drive, the tension, the stress that comes with that particular battle in the arena?
Well, every day is a challenge. You know, I had a mentor when I was younger give me such great advice. He said, there are no 2 good consecutive days in a leader's life. And I've just valued that so much throughout my life because leadership's hard. Leadership demands a lot out of you. I mean, the average person, they just have to take care of themselves. The leader has to take care of himself or herself, but then they have to take care of everybody on the team. So if everything worthwhile is uphill for a leader, you not only go uphill, but you got to take people with you uphill. And so people talk, they talk about balance. How do you get balance in your life? And when they ask me that question, I always disappoint them because I say I have no clue. I mean, honestly, I don't think balance is possible. I mean, life's not balanced. I've never had a balanced day. I've never had life treat me like, okay, I've given you enough difficulties today. We'll have some easy stuff now. And tomorrow, okay, we'll even this. I've never found life to come to me that way. There are major disappointments. Sometimes you gotta work hard because you're not doing well or I don't think balance happens. I don't think life's balanced, so I don't think we can be balanced. But I do think in relationships and what the question you're asking is that we have to understand seasons.
All right, this is Coach Busy. This was a preview, a teaser for the hour-long podcast of Ken Cole interviewing the one and only John Maxwell. I think he's someone who doesn't need any introduction, really the number one leadership coach, guru, expert in the world today. And so make sure to watch the full hour-long podcast. The link is in the note. And today, so if you missed the hour-long conversation, we are going to distill the most powerful leadership insight from the full episode today in less than 10 minutes. All right. So inside this episode, we're going to be talking about why everything worthwhile is uphill and our leaders must commit to the climb. Why you must get over yourself to truly communicate and connect with others. Because communication is not only about you, it's about the other person you are communicating to, right? And the power of everyday essential. You have to read, think, file, ask question, and write every day. Those are the 5 essential for any leader. If you want to develop personally every single day, you have to read, you have to write, you have to think, you have to ask question, and you have to file what you are learning. All right, so consistency compounds into extraordinary influence. And Papa John's also talks about the timeless challenge, right? Don't wait for tomorrow, take action today. Today is now. One of his best books, I think I have a copy here somewhere, Today Matters. He's written so many books, but that's one of my favorite. The first time I met with Papa John, I believe it was 2009, he was a guest speaker at Church of the Island in Birmingham, Alabama, and he was preaching. And I remember that sermon, "Today Matters." Basically, it was out of his book. So I purchased the book right after that. But it's one of those sermons that just literally changed my life. So yesterday is gone. There's nothing I can do about yesterday. The only thing I can do about yesterday is just thinking about what I may have messed up and learning from whatever mistake I made. That's it. I cannot change anything that happened yesterday, but I can change what happened today. Right? Today, I can make a difference. Today does matter because what I do today will then impact my tomorrow. So my tomorrow can be better than my today if I do the right thing, right? And then I believe tomorrow belongs to me. So we are gonna get back to the 10-minute summary of the podcast. And before I do, I want to remind you all, please let me know where you are watching us from. Type in your city, your state, and if you are outside of the US, your country. And also, if you have a question, type it in the comment, and I'm going to make sure to get to it by the end of this podcast. And also, I would like to ask you to tag somebody else that may benefit from this podcast today. So I do appreciate that. All right, let me get my AI agent and take it from here. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so.
Welcome to our chat on leadership. Today's focus is on those timeless lessons that really shape a leader's journey. Remember the simple yet powerful idea, today matters? It's amazing how one phrase can drive home the importance of daily action.
Absolutely. It's like a wake up call every morning. And it's not just lip service, it's about showing up daily, right?
Right, exactly. The content we're discussing emphasizes that leadership develops daily, not in a day. It's like, building a brick wall. Each small, intentional brick laid today creates a fortress of success tomorrow.
I love that analogy. And it really drives home the idea that you can't just wing it. You have to work for every bit of progress.
Definitely. Maxwell's teaching reminds us that natural talent has its limits. Consistency and hard work are the real secret sauce. He says, "For 50 plus years I have not been lazy. Everything worthwhile is uphill." It's a message that applies whether you're in the Navy or in Silicon Valley.
And that point about not winging it resonates deeply. But don't you think some might say that being overly focused on discipline can sometimes stifle creativity?
That's a fair critique, but I think the idea isn't about rigid monotony. It's about creating a framework where your creativity can flourish within consistent daily habits. When you prepare and work with intention, your moments of inspiration become even more potent.
Right. True, true. And speaking of intention, the content also drives home that leadership is not a solo performance. Communication is about others is a big takeaway. It's about focusing less on yourself and more on empowering those around you.
Exactly. Imagine you're leading a team meeting. If you're too wrapped up in showcasing your brilliance, you're missing the chance to really connect with your team. Maxwell teaches that great communication starts in the audience seat before it even lights up the stage.
And that natural shift to serving others is pivotal. It's like he's saying, get over yourself. Instead of worrying about your own performance, you empower others, which builds trust and elevates the whole team.
Absolutely. And that ties neatly into another key principle. Preparation today prevents repair tomorrow. Whether it's studying potential threats in cybersecurity or training your team, every bit of preparation saves you from expensive mistakes later.
Yep, it's that proactive mindset that builds resilience. And over time, as those small daily efforts compound, you get what he calls consistency compounds. It's almost like watching drops of water eventually carve out a canyon.
Exactly. It's like each small habit, reading, thinking, writing, asking questions, adds up. Maxwell's routine, those everyday essentials, aren't just busy work. They're the kind of actions that shape leaders over decades.
Yeah, absolutely. I also appreciate the part on intentional living, design your life on purpose. It's a call to set daily, clear priorities, sort of like a personal blueprint for leadership.
Right. It's not about random acts of leadership. It's about designing your life with purpose. Whether you're a military officer or a tech innovator, intentional daily habits like reading, reflecting, and preparing are what build a legacy.
And what's really interesting is the emphasis on attitude, as in, attitude is the difference maker. Even the best technical skills can sometimes fall flat without the right mindset.
Exactly. It's like having all the tools in the world but not knowing how to use them if you're not driven by a positive, collaborative attitude. A great attitude turns individual competence into a dynamic team performance.
Yeah. Then there's the insight on respect builds relationships. Instead of demanding respect, you earn it by being consistent, even in tough situations.
Right. And Maxwell notes that respect isn't commanded by rank or title. It's earned through making decisions under pressure and valuing every single person. It's that intricate balance of firmness and empathy.
Now, I have to ask, what about the idea that focusing on respect and communication might slow down decision making in high pressure circumstances?
That's a thoughtful challenge. I'd say effective leadership is about balancing decisiveness with empathy. There's room for rapid action without sacrificing respect and clear communication. In fact, taking a little extra time to ensure alignment can prevent larger issues later on.
Agreed. And then there's culture must be fought for daily. It sounds like a call to arms for all leaders. Culture isn't static, it needs constant reinforcement and protection.
Exactly. Whether it's preserving core values in a military unit or maintaining a healthy work environment in a tech company, culture requires daily attention. It's like tending a garden. If you ignore it, the weeds of toxicity and misalignment take over.
Yeah, that garden analogy really works. And then there's the powerful metaphor of the mountain mindset. Climbing a mountain is tough, and it's not always fast or easy, but as Maxwell says, everything worthwhile is uphill.
Exactly. Imagine you're ascending a steep mountain. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. It demands resilience, persistence, and intentionality. That mindset prepares you for the inevitable challenges ahead.
Matching pace. I also found it inspiring how the author illustrates these principles through a personal journey, from starting as a young recruit to becoming a leader in both military and cybersecurity realms. It's real-life proof that these ideas work.
Absolutely. The story underscores that leadership isn't just a theoretical framework, it's lived experience. Every encounter with mentors, every challenging deployment or boardroom crisis cements those everyday disciplines.
Right, exactly. And it all circles back to the central energizing message. Don't wait for tomorrow. Take action today. It's both a rallying cry and a call for introspection.
Precisely. It's so empowering because it reminds us that we hold the power in our daily choices. Whether you're setting aside time for reflection, engaging in a difficult conversation, or preparing for the next challenge, your actions today shape your tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the mindset to have. So, to wrap it up, what's the top takeaway for anyone striving to become a better leader?
If I had to pick one, it's this. Leadership is a daily commitment. It's not about the grand gestures all at once. It's about those, seemingly small yet powerful steps you take every day. When you commit to intentional habits, preparation, and respect for others, you build a legacy that truly matters.
Absolutely. And that challenge, what everyday essential are you going to commit to today, is what transforms intention into lasting influence.
Exactly. Let each day be your foundation. From building trust to fostering a positive attitude and fighting for the culture you believe in, the journey is uphill, but the view is worth every step.
Yep, very inspiring. Here's to every drop, every brick laid, and every challenging climb. Keep leading, keep growing, and always remember, today truly matters.
That's it. Let's each take that call to action. No more waiting for tomorrow. Live intentionally, lead relentlessly, and watch how every small action compounds into greatness. Thanks for joining the conversation today.
All right. So here's a copy of a book I have signed by Dr. Maxwell, Today Matters. Again, I encourage everyone to get a copy of this book, but basically it talks about 12 disciplines to make today a masterpiece, right? It talked about attitude. What's your attitude today? Your priorities, your health, your family, your thinking, your commitment, your finances, your faith, your relationships, your generosity, your values, and your growth. If you do those 12 things every single day, your day will be a masterpiece and you're going to live a great life. All right. Let me play two more teaser from the hour-long interview. And then we are going to end today's broadcast. I'm checking. I don't see any question on LinkedIn or on YouTube. That's okay. And but even if you just watch the replay again, let me know where you are watching from and what are your 2 to 3 takeaway from the episode. All right, here are a couple more teaser before we end the broadcast today.
I've worked hard, I've prepared hard, I've written everything I've ever taught out word by word, not to memorize it so much, but the discipline of being definitive and accurate and different. So the working on it, I think, is where I am today, and probably I just wish people could have heard. If you could have heard me when I started, all of you would be greatly encouraged. You just would be. You would just say, oh my gosh, he wasn't that good. And I wasn't that good. I'm not being humble. I just wasn't that good. But the work for it, and I still do, by the way.
Yeah.
I could by this time, after 92 books and a whole bunch of stuff, I could wing about anything. But the lesson I'm going to give today is a brand new lesson. I've never taught it before. And, I was up early this morning in my room working on it. And I've been back in the green room working on it. And I'll be working on it till I come out and trying to improve it and try to, to tweak it. So I think the point about anything of excellence, here's the point. You see greatness and you see people who worked for it.
A beginner trait, a foundational trait that you have to have. You cut open Secretariat as they did the greatest horse, and they found he had a heart 2.5 times the size of other thoroughbreds. If we were to cut open and do an autopsy on great leaders, what's a trait that is foundational that you'll see in every leader who is great? Something they can tactically begin to try to work on and develop. What comes to mind?
Well, what comes to mind now, if you ask me the question 2 minutes from now, there'll be another one come to mind.
Exactly.
Because there's so many of them. But you got to be a great team player. Teamwork makes the dream work. And not everybody can be a star. Not everybody can be great. But everybody can be a team player, which means we complement one another. We add value to one another. We cheer for one another. John Wooden was a mentor of mine and the greatest coach. Well, Sports Illustrated said that he was the greatest coach of the 20th century. He was the UCLA basketball coach. And he told me about a player that he had on his team. If you're old like me, you love basketball. He had a player named Sidney Wicks. And he said the first day Sidney got on the basketball court, by the end of practice, every player on the team knew he was truly the best player. But he wasn't a good team player. He was selfish. Give me the ball, give me the ball. And so Coach Wood said the only way I could get him through that wrong thinking was to sit him on the bench. So I just set him on the bench. Now he's the best player, but he's on the bench. And he said, sometimes Sidney Wicks would come up to him in a game. He'd say, Coach, put me in the game, put me in the game. You know I'm the best player on the team. And Coach Wood said, Sidney, I know you're the best player on the team.
Bye, everybody. This is Coach Busy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our channels and come back for more wisdom nuggets on how you may develop into a better leader and achieve greater levels of success. Leadership is the most critical skill. The world will always need leaders to lead others, deploy the next disruptive technology, or execute a business strategy. You may as well decide on counting yourself among the 21st century leaders. See you right here next time on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.